Welcome, everybody, to a Delco Nerd Network Hot Take. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have never seen a hot take before, well, it's where a few friends get in a basement, give their thoughts, give their opinions on a TV show, a movie, or a game. Today, it's going to be a game, and that game is Banishers, Ghosts of New Eden. Here to discuss, as always, my fellow Banisher, the triple threat, Chris Trio.
I curse you in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Is this a Catholicism thing? Or
No,
is it like it's
not,
or is it more like The Witch? Like where it's like pagan type, like odd.
That, but also some Puritan stuff, but no Catholicism yet. We're a bit too early in the timeline, but
Fair.
Chris Trio, how are you?
I'm good, man. We just got off our Fallout review, which was a great time. I'm sure you can watch that. It should already be up. Other than that, man, I'm feeling great. I'm excited to talk Banishers. I have not played this game.
I mean, you're excited for some other reasons, right? I would hope.
Yeah, and of course, I apologize. Thank you, Gooch.
You don't have to apologize.
May 4th, we have a panel coming up, guys. Big announcement here at Philly Fan Expo in Philadelphia at the Pennsylvania Convention Center on Saturday, May the 4th be with you, May 4th, at 10:45 a.m. I can't remember the exact room off the top
The
of my head.
room is level 1 in the workshops, room 125. I'm sure you'll be able to, get some assistance going in. I think as soon as you go into the con, it's like not on the main con floor. It's like
One of
like one of the lower, like there's like panel rooms.
Yeah.
But anyway, yes, we're what's the topic, Trio?
We are
What we
talking about the great superhero game Drought Gooch. We're talking about the shitty games that we've gotten from the superhero genre, as well as the very little amount of games that we've gotten from the superhero genre in the past like 10 years, ever since Arkham Knight kind of kicked off the streak that we've started.
Or like ended it.
Yeah,
a
true.
Little bit.
I mean, I guess, and ended it for a
Spider-Man.
while, and then Spider-Man came back out, and we'll have our gripes with two, but. Yeah, we're excited. We're going to talk about the lack of superhero games, the lack of good ones at the very least, and just go into it, take some questions from the audience and such.
Yeah,
should be fun.
We're recording the panel, so just like the Too Many Games one, it'll be posted later in the month. No date on that, but if something changes,
No, absolutely.
we'll let you know. But yeah, you should be able to watch that hopefully sooner.
How much are day
than later.
passes actually?
I think they're like $50.
Okay, you can spend
and
$50
Saturday
on
is
us.
going to be the poppin' day. There's a
It
lot
is.
of celebrities coming from Star Wars, from like The Office.
Hayden Christensen's going to be there.
Yeah, there's a ton of celebrities this year at Fan Expo. So hopefully we will see you there again May 4th at 10:45. Not the Greater Philadelphia Convention Center. It's the Pennsylvania Convention Center in Philadelphia, not the one in Oaks.
Right. Awesome.
The names, man.
It's all right. There's a ton going on. And,
Anyway, we're here to discuss a little double-A gem, I would like to call Banishers, Ghosts of New Eden. Trio didn't play this one. I did, so I'm going to be leading the charge on this one. But let me start with you, Trio. What have you heard about this game besides me talking about it?
Absolutely nothing.
And I think that's a problem.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
I think that's a
Colin's
problem.
talked about it a little bit on Sacred Symbols, but the only thing I've heard him say is, I've stopped playing it. So that's interesting. I was interested in this when it was announced. I know they pushed back the release date to kind of avoid
Yeah, the 2023.
that was 2023
clusterfuck,
with every game on Earth releasing, which I do think was a good idea, but sadly, it doesn't seem like it helped it a lot.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate because it does
Yeah.
look like an interesting game. So you play as these Banishers, right? Who are like kind of ghost, for lack of a better term, ghost hunters.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The Banishers are like your title. You're playing as two ghost hunters. This is by Focus Entertainment. They publish Plague Tale and a lot of other AA like games. And it's by Don't Nod. They did Vampire. They did Life is Strange, and before Life is Strange they did Remember Me. I'm not sure if you've heard of that game. I know that game is based in Paris, but this team is French based as well.
Right.
So again, yeah, AA, and I wanted to review this game not because I really enjoyed it, but I really want to try to champion these AA games that just don't get this attention. Like Trio just kind of proved that like a lot of people aren't really buying these smaller title games, and I think if we buy those games and support those studios and those teams making smaller titles, I think it's going to make the game industry better. So that's sort of the idea with this. It's like, even though Trio doesn't play it, even though we come together to review games that one or the other doesn't play, that was kind of like my reasoning by this one. And same thing with like when we did RoboCop, smaller team, smaller studio. I mean, I know that game got a little bit more praise publicly than Banishers, but yeah, that's the idea.
No, it makes sense.
So as in Banishers, you play as Rory McWraith, who is a
McWraith.
Yeah, Rory McWraith, who's a Scottish banisher, and Antea Duarte, who is a Cuban banisher, and they are in a relationship. It looks like they were master mentor, and then their relationship sort of evolved into
a grooming thing.
doing the do. Yeah.
Okay.
Really interesting characters. They're very like different in terms of like, you know, like their race, and, you know, obviously they're one's a male, one's a female, but like they just seem to be very like different people culturally, especially in a game where you're in the New World, America.
It is America.
It's like the mid 1600s.
New England?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, New England. I mean, New Eden is the town, the game.
Right.
So you're basically being called by another Banisher who's like, hey, there's something going on in the town of New England, or New Eden in the New World. We need some help. It's pretty bad. We need help.
Yeah.
So come here. So you get to New Eden, and you sort of find out like a lot of the town is left. There's some fucked up shit going on. Charles, who is the guy who summons you, has died. So like the first thing you do is sort of like banish his ghost.
And he was another Banisher?
Yeah, he was like a priest. I don't think like
I gotcha.
He was related to their organization. And so again, this is like a real world game in a real world period. But everyone is sort of in on this ghost thing. That ghosts exist and people being haunted. Ghosts are real. Yep. Nobody's doubting it. Everybody knows it. And it's sort of, you know, it's a Banisher's job to be like, hey, like you have a ghost, you're being haunted. We're going to they're basically, you're a ghost detective.
Yeah.
You find out what's going on, the relationship between these characters. Why is this person haunting you? What
you're
did you
witchering
do?
A bit.
Yeah.
With like when you're trying to figure out how to dispel a ghost. There's a lot of
haunting cases in the game that you're required. Some are required to do. A lot of them are extra, which I'll talk about later. But, you know, you kind of get to the head of this town and sort of find out like where the haunting is coming from. It's at the schoolhouse, and you confront like you go to bed, and I think Rory gets like called to the schoolhouse in his dreams, and he like Antea isn't in the room, and she's like, oh, like she must have went to investigate. And you go there and you fight this creature, this nightmare creature. And in the process, Antea isn't there, but she comes in later, and like you get fucked up, and then she gets killed. So the game starts off, you play as Antea, like alive, and you don't play as Rory until like the rest of the game.
Right.
But Antea is now haunting Rory. So she's alive technically, or she's like with you the whole game. So the gameplay sort of takes that approach, and you're playing as Rory, who's using his sword and his torch, which are your main weapons. He has a gun as well, you get later. And then Antea, you can switch by pressing Y, and you play as her, and she can fight different ghosts better, you know, like some of her weaknesses. And Rory's better at fighting other types of enemies than Antea. Antea has different abilities. So you're kind of playing two characters in the same body.
Right.
It's really interesting. And there are skill trees in this game and a progression system where you just like pick abilities. There's some. So by completing haunting cases, you get essence, which increases like one ability pool, and then leveling up increases another. So you have like two sort of types of abilities. And the way the game decides to introduce you to the skill tree is really nice. It's like, here's like 4 skills, like literally just 4. And then you get to a certain point in the game, and the next tree, it's a different tree. The next tree unlocks, and it's a little bit bigger. And the same thing happens again. And you get a new power with Antea, and it's a bit bigger. Instead of giving you the whole fucking thing right off the bat, the game really decides to like approach it more manageably and not just show you this entire big tree, which it gets big, but like the way it's drip feeding into you is really nice.
You're not feeling overwhelmed.
Yeah, I find that, you know, kind of like the Assassin's Creed thing where,
I mean, that's the most extreme example.
Right, where you're literally
it's
like,
a spider
oh
webs
my
of
God.
It's a spider's web of plus 2% all over to whatever attribute. Kill me.
Yeah, there's a lot of increase this but lose this, those kind of things.
Right.
So, but you can like, you know, open up your menu at any time and switch around things, so you're not locked into any decision at all. You don't have to. You can refund your points, but it's not like, oh, press X to refund all. Like you just go to the thing and switch to the other thing in the tree. So there's always like you pick one or the other, and then they move to the next set of 2. One or the other, mix,
and then it branches
next set
off
of 2.
again.
Yeah, and then it might branch off again. So the way the gameplay is really good, and it kind of reminds me of like God of War.
Right.
Like that's sort of where I take like the base of the combat.
Oh, interesting.
This
Okay.
third person over the shoulder, like, you know, you have different move sets and you can do different things. Yeah, the enemy variety is like you're killing like ghosts, and like there's some like different types of ghosts, and then like
Any
wolves.
humans?
Dead humans.
Okay.
No humans
Right.
though.
Like
You're not
yeah.
killing people, and they definitely kind of in the game. They're kind of like they really make it known that like they're not like Geralt. They don't really get involved politically in things. Like sometimes they're
just there to take care of the ghost. Right.
Yeah, but sometimes it kind of intermingles.
Right.
And when you die and you wake up as Rory and this girl named Seeker kind of finds you and like nurses you back to health, and it's been some time.
Right.
And the whole area is really fucked up from this haunting. And a lot of the people have moved away from New Edentown and they're going to Boston or they're kind of like staying in the area and like, makeshift like towns in the woods. And you sort of encounter all these people and you kind of realize that like, you don't really know for a while what happened, like what's going on. Like you don't really find that out in the first.
What was the inciting event?
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to spoil it either. I'm gonna leave the narrative stuff.
That's good because honestly, I think I might want to get to this. At some point.
And I don't think it's worth spoiling. It's not going to add to me talking about it. But you do find out what happens and how everyone you've come in contact with these like random people have to do with what happened. And you meet like the governor of the town and like again. Sort of like getting into like he's haunted or there's haunting, like there's different towns, like sects of like there's like a fort where like there's a bunch of people at this makeshift town in the woods, and then there's like another town that people have populated who have left New Edentown. And you're kind of finding out like how these people are connected, what they did, who knows who loves who, yada yada, who's good, who's bad, who's maybe good, who you think is good but is actually bad, who seems bad but is actually good. There's a lot. The voice acting, the performances in this game are really, really good. I have to
good like facial capture and stuff.
Yeah, I like the dialogue and the story and the narrative. It's really good. It's a slow burn. I gotta admit, it's not just like shoveling the best to you in like the first few hours where it's like this grandiose thing and then it like stops for a little bit. It's a real slow burn of a game.
All right.
And it took me a while to get through. I think I put like almost like 100 hours into it.
Oh my God.
There is a lot of side content that you don't need to do. Obviously, I'm going for all my achievements. So when I got to the point of no return, turned right back around and did all the stuff I didn't do. So that took me a while to get to. And really, I only have to play the game one more time to do one of the other endings. There's 4 endings, and they kind of base themselves on how you handle the haunting cases. So in the beginning of the game, when Antea dies, so again, she's haunting you, and you guys are having conversations and stuff. There's a lot of banter between the two, which I think is really good. It's not like really stupid, like they're like, they don't comment to each other constantly about things.
Right.
But like, I think when they do have something to say to each other, it's kind of like endearing, or like, like they're flirting with each other, or, she's really depressed that she's dead. And you kind of come to the conclusion, hey, I can resurrect you, but we have to kill people to do that in order to like, so when you get to the haunting cases, you can either banish the ghost or kill the person that caused the issue. So you're getting to this. It's like a harvest little sister or save little sister kind of thing.
Okay.
So that influences your ending. And then there's 4 endings from that.
Oh, wow. That actually sounds pretty cool.
Yeah. So, you get to the first one and it's like, this guy like essentially like ate his friend. Okay. He died by accident and then he ate him. And
was because he didn't have any food or
yeah. And he kind of like goes crazy and it's like, okay, am I gonna kill this guy? But like the friend is also like he's haunting him because of like the situation, not necessarily because he like killed him. It's interesting, and like a lot of the haunting cases are kind of like that. None of them are like,
it's not like black and white, like this person murdered this person, right?
Sort of like L.A. Noire type, like you get, but like you'll definitely figure out what it is. Like L.A. Noire kind of, you can really fuck cases up and like figure nothing out.
That is funny.
But like, and that's really what the game's basis is solving cases and progressing and trying to figure out how this haunting happened in New Edentown, so you can go back, you can confront the nightmare, kill the nightmare, and also get back to Antea's body, so you can either resurrect her or banish her.
Right. Okay.
And the idea is like, hey, like you're in love, so like you want to resurrect your wife, but you're a banisher, so like
you should be doing
not doing this goes against your whole like credo.
Yeah.
There's a lot of lore in the game. There's not like a ton of text files, but like you find a lot of things that sort of contextualize the Banishers and what they do, and how it ties into paganism and how the Puritans
that makes sense.
Are really like shitty people.
Who would have thought?
When it comes down to it, like, you interact with them and they're like, it's funny though because they still believe in ghosts.
That is hilarious.
And I don't really know if like
well, they believed in like possessions and stuff like that, right?
That's what I was gonna say. I'm like, I don't really know like how in depth they believed in that kind of thing. The super, like, obviously we know with like the Crucible and like Salem, like we know they kind of believed in witches and they were really sort of ready to point the finger and kind of sentence people for things they probably didn't do, but they were explaining with witchcraft, and it kind of plays into that.
Or they wanted their land,
right? But then again, with this, it's like no, ghosts exist.
No, ghosts are real. Like
but they're still like ready to like.
Do you deal with any possessions?
People. Yes,
okay.
There are cases that are like, like some demon from the void has like entered this person, and like something's happening that's like a bit more than the action.
I'm not gonna lie, Gooch, you're making me want to play this right now. And I was looking up the Metacritic actually. What do you think? Do you know what it's at?
I would say 84,
78.
Okay,
I think that's still very reasonable.
It's a really good game, and it's a 2 playthrougher or just a 1. Again, the length I would say is a bit to its detriment. I think you're gonna, if you decide to do everything before the point of no return, you're gonna get bored.
Right.
The game has a bit of a backtrack issue. There is fast travel. You can fast travel from like bonfires and stuff. You can like rest there, and like you replenish your healing vials and stuff. It's not Souls-like. It has elements that would probably be from Souls, but it's not Souls-like.
Oh, you mean like how every game takes elements from every other genre now?
Yeah, how you can like sleep at a bonfire and like get your health back and enemies come back. Yeah.
Oh, you have those RPG points? Okay, RPG.
Yeah, like, it's not Souls-like. But it has like some of those mechanics, and you can fast travel between your bonfires and stuff like that. And I would say, like, if you're gonna play the game, kind of go at it at your own pace. But if you get to the ending and you decide, yeah, I've had my fill, I would just say beat it.
Right.
It may affect your ending.
Sure.
It's something to note. It may affect your ending. You don't need to do all the haunting cases to get like the best ending, but it depends on what you do.
Right.
And at a few different points, you kind of make promises to Antea. It's like, hey, this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna banish you. And if you going against your promise also affects it.
I see.
As well, which you can probably like deduce just from the fact
does she feel any which way about it?
She wants to. She's like, you should banish me.
Okay.
We can't do this.
This is our whole thing.
Yeah. And Rory is the one. She, her being the master, she's sort of the more, I would say, intelligent one. Rory, is he's the more like emotional one,
right?
And like
he's the young blood.
Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm. And he's sort of like hesitant. And he's like, well, like I love you, and like, and again, like throughout the game, they kind of have like, like they kind of forget that they're in the situation they're in, right. And you as the player might forget that too because they're just kind of talking normally. And not everyone can see ghosts. Like you get to certain points where the ghosts will like reveal themselves to the alive person. The Banishers can see whatever, but like, Antea will be like right next to you while you're having a conversation,
and no one sees her. Right,
as Rory, and like they don't see her, and Antea will talk to you. And by the way, his full name is Rory. They call him Red McGrath all the time.
Interesting.
Yeah, but
hi Red.
Yeah, I really like the game.
It sounds very interesting.
That's kind of it. It's not like it's a big game and has a lot of content. I think it was $60. It is worth the price tag, a full price tag.
I might pick it up.
But again, I think like playing all that content for like you, or someone who's not an achievement hunter might make you
lose
bored
the
of it.
luster a little. Yeah.
But again, that shouldn't stop you from playing it. It just means, hey, you probably just don't need to do everything.
Every side little thing, yeah.
There's a lot of stuff.
All right.
There's a lot of equipment to get and mess around with. There's equipment stuff. So you with what you wear, your sword and your torch, your gun, which you get not at the beginning of the game, but like that's your main ranged weapon.
Right. And it's like a flintlock, I assume. Yeah.
Yeah. So to reload it, he's like, you shoot. And he like kind of like shoves it down, like does this, and you reload it. Yeah, you just reload it. I think Colin talked about it in Sacred Symbols. Yeah. It was funny. And then you have like your health vial, a ring, like a necklace, and like a few like trinket kind of items like that, and they affect Antea stuff.
I see.
While the physical stuff affects Red.
Red's gotcha.
Yeah, and like the game, it feels like a very double A game, like I said, but like a really good 360 title. It kind of reminds me of Dishonored in a way too, not in gameplay, but I think the way the game is set up, especially with like the morality.
Interesting.
Like I compared it to like BioShock with the Little Sisters. Like it reminded me of that a lot. And I feel like the game is really simple, really effective, and I feel like the ending was really satisfying, but like the game doesn't try to like introduce like anything more than what it is.
Right.
Like I don't really think we're gonna get a sequel to this game. It ends. It feels conclusive. You do what you set out to do, and the book closes.
If it did well, though, you could see them re-exploring the world, I assume.
Yeah, I think they could re-explore this world outside of Red and Antea. I mean, they would probably have to figure out
a different story.
I guess if you Banisher, that would have to be non-canon to bring these characters back. But I could totally see them exploring more things within this little Banishers universe they got going on. I feel like. You could pick another location and maybe like a late 1700s, maybe early 1800 time period, and just kind of go with it.
I'll give them credit in the fact of like you don't see people touch that time frame a lot.
Yeah, it reminded me a lot of Assassin's Creed 3 because like, I mean we're like 100 years
before
ahead. No, ahead.
Oh, gotcha.
Well, we're 100 years before with Banishers, 100 years ahead with Assassin's Creed 3, but that colonial America time period for games is really unexplored, and I kind of get why. Like, I'm not
There's
sure.
not a ton going on there.
Right.
I like this idea of almost this, like, how you're describing it, like, what's the word? What's this, like, old religion? What's pagan? Like, this paganism time, like, where they're dealing...
This paganistic order?
Yeah, and, like, you're dealing with also, like,
in the real world?
Yeah, and you're dealing with all, the idea of the Puritans and, like, these different settlements, and they're living in this world that you are dealing with ghosts, and magic exists to a degree, I guess.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah,
so,
and everyone is aware of that.
Yeah,
there's not like at least within the game's characters, there's no like. No,
magic isn't real.
Some people are like, I'm not being haunted. Nah, you are. Yeah. There's a lot of weird, fucked up shit going on with you. You're being haunted. Yeah. And Red's like,
I'm not being haunted as they float.
Yeah, Red's like, you're haunted. Yeah. like,
hey, idiot,
just accept it.
You're haunted.
I'll prove it to you. Anyway, I cut you off.
No, it sounds like a very interesting and different setting and story that we really don't deal with a lot. Yeah. And what actually seems like it might deal with this type of time period. I mean, we still haven't heard anything about it. It's Assassin's Creed Hex.
Oh yeah.
So like I don't know exactly what's going on there because like
I forgot about
I
that.
totally had forgotten about it until like you just said Assassin's Creed. Actually,
you were cooking for a little bit.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see what that's going to be. It does seem to be exploring like the I can't come up with the word like that.
Supernatural.
Yeah, Thank you. That supernatural element from that time period. So. I don't know. I like this idea. I like seeing these AA games. I'm sad that it didn't get the kind of maybe looks it needed. But
prove me wrong, but call me out when we get to it. But I have a feeling this game might get nominated for a Game Award.
It could.
I think it's a strong title. Whether reviewed or not, again,
it did review well enough. Yeah,
it's not reviewing poorly.
It's not like it's a 50.
Yeah. I think there is some I think Antea and Red McWraith's voice actors were really good. They had really good chemistry, and it feels like they nailed their characters. And I really felt for them and the relationship and the situation that they were in, very fucked situation.
No, absolutely.
The fact that they're there to begin with, but also what happens and what they have to do. It's like. They can't really move on until they deal with this. And it's like, do I resurrect the girl I love, or do I
and go against my whole credo, or do I,
follow my thing? And it's like, okay, what happens when she's alive? You don't really, the ending I did was I banished her. I committed to that from the beginning. That I was gonna go through it, but Red, even though you commit to banishing her, he still kind of has these moments of fuck,
I really don't want to do this.
Right, I love you, and but I like the relationship's really I like it. It's very romantic without being too heavy on the we're fucking.
I mean, it seems like a lynch. It seems like a linchpin of the game to a degree. Yeah, if that didn't work, it wouldn't work.
Yeah, for sure. Because you really, because you can even though you commit to doing one or the other, you can totally change your mind in the last moments of the game. Trying to think of anything else. There's some side quests and sort of like mundane stuff where you have to go here and get these items and bring them back that aren't the haunting cases. But the game is really focused. Like the side content is not too sidey. Like
right. It feels like it matters.
It loops in on what's going on in the game. I'm not sure if you have any other questions for me, but I think that's pretty much all I have to say.
No, I don't think so, Gooch. It sounds like an interesting game in a setting that we don't get often, and exploring lore that we don't explore often as well. So you've kind of convinced me to at the very least, wait until it's a little bit lower price-wise and pick it up. But
I'm still, I feel like that. Like I want to get Stellar Blade. Like speaking of that, but like,
I'm
for some reason, I'm like totally not.
So I didn't. I waited to play the demo because I wanted to play it like closer to release. Yeah, I didn't want to just start.
Because I feel like the reason I brought up Stellar Blade, I feel like this is a similar situation to you had. It's like, oh, this looks cool, but
yeah.
It's like,
I don't know. Did you play the demo at all?
No, I don't really want to, even though I'm like on the fence.
No, I definitely. I want to. I started it, but then I was like, wait, I actually want to wait and be able to like play it, and then if I like it, I can pick it up.
So you download the demo to even play
I haven't played it yet.
Yeah, because I'm like, the next game we have is Hellblade at the end of May. So there's really...
I need to play the first one.
Yeah, you do.
It's on Xbox. It's on Game Pass, right?
Dude, what do you do next weekend?
Exactly. I think I might... Oh, well, I have the wedding.
Oh, right.
Maybe Sunday I'll do that. Just sit down and do it.
You can finish it in like 2 days.
Yeah.
It's a very short game.
Yeah, I heard that. And then like they say to use like headphones and stuff with it, right? If you can.
Yeah.
All right. I'll definitely check it out. But, Gooch, anything else?
No, but we hope to see you at I was going to say too many games.
I know.
Fan Expo on May 4th at 10:45 on level 1 in the workshops area in room 125. We hope to see you there for our panel.
I mean, hey, we'll be poking around the con the rest of the day too, so you'll probably see us walking the floor.
Did you decide if you're taking Friday off?
I probably won't, just because I don't know. I might. I'm still thinking about it.
I took it off. It's one of those cons where the con starts. It goes like 4 to 9.
Yeah,
which is like annoying. But I might want to go.
Oh, it starts 4 to 9 at night. I'm confused.
Yeah, on Friday.
On Friday.
Con.
Oh, okay.
Because that's the first day.
Right.
So it's like shorter.
Yeah, 4 to 9. That makes sense. Yeah, I might take I might take the hour off, like, and then just use 1 hour PTO and then get up there with you. We'll talk.
We'll do that. Yeah, we'll talk. Because I want to get our badges and scope it out.
Yeah, for sure. I would love to. Games. Yeah, I'd love to go check it out.
Yeah. Anyway.
Cool.
That's it.
Yeah. Please, we'd love to see you guys there. But, if you can't make it, we appreciate you watching regardless. Thank you all for watching with us live on twitch.tv/Delco Nerd Network. We really appreciate your time. You can find this podcast anywhere podcasts are found. Just search Delco Nerd Network on your favorite platform or on all of your favorite social media platforms as well. At Delco Nerds on everything with an @ We got a Facebook page, Discord channel. All that good stuff will be linked down below. Come hang out and chat with us. We'd love to have you. You can email us your comments, questions, or concerns to delconerds@gmail.com. We'd be happy to answer, as well as find all this information on our website, delconerdnetwork.com. But for Gooch, I've been Trio. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay nerdy, and we will see you next time.